Trying to get a hitch back up the Monarch Pass. It's about 8 o'clock in the morning. I already had my breakfast. It's time to get rolling, get back on trail. Let's see if we can get a hitch. All right, we made it back to Monarch Pass. Trevor here gave us a ride. He lives right across the street from the butterfly house, so that was very nice of him. Now I got to figure out where the trail is so we can get back on trail. All right, we go that way. We got full bellies and full packs. Carrying 6 days of food. This is the heaviest my pack has ever been. I could barely get it closed with the amount of food that we have in there. And this is also the most Leo's ever carried as a 6-day carry. So I'm hoping that we can cut it to 5.5, but we want him to make sure if we needed to go slow, we'll go slow. It's no big deal. This is supposed to be the cruisier section, so we'll find out here soon. All right, it is a Saturday, and there must be some type of a bike thing going on up here at Monarch Pass. We've probably been passed by 30 to 40 bikes already. It's a beautiful area, so I can see why they would want to ride the bike. This is a nice and smooth trail, but I'm constantly looking over my shoulder because they're coming up behind you. They're very courteous. I've had zero issues with like mountain bikers like riding up on me and being rude. And obviously with Leo being attached to me, they have to wait a second for me to get off trail. So, but anyway, just looking at the map, I'm trying to figure things out as far as mileage goes today. There's a water source at 15 and then a water source at like 21. I don't want to stop at 15, and I don't know if I want to push to 21. We'll just have to see how the terrain goes and how the time goes throughout the day. But we are carrying these heavy packs, and by the way, this is the most loaded I've ever been in this pack, and it feels pretty good. Definitely distributing the weight. I don't feel real heavy on my shoulders, but it's also the beginning of the day. I got new shoes. I got my Durston poles back. I had one of them, but the other one was broken, so we got it fixed. Dan sent me a new bottom, and we got that repaired here in our last trip at the butterfly house. All right, stop to take our first break here. We are in the middle of a bike event called the Cross Crank. Just found out some information. They are riding for Veterans Expeditionary Services. So we're so thankful that they're out here doing that. They feel like they're a little bit of a nuisance on the trail with me, but I'm one of those people that say that the trail is here for all to enjoy. So I'm thankful that they're out here and that they're enjoying it, we're enjoying it, and they're very respectful with the trail. So like I said, I've had nothing but good experiences with these mountain bikers so far. They let me know they're coming. They are patient in the fact that waiting for me to get into a spot where I can actually get off trail safely. So all in all, great experience. Happy they're out here riding for the veterans. I'm a veteran, so thank you. Amazing view. You see that cloud just sinking into the valley over there. That looks absolutely beautiful. Supposed to get some rain later this afternoon, so we're going to try to get in as many miles as we can, and hope that rain holds off, or maybe we hike away from it. that is the official end of the Collegiate West. We got a big crowd here today with all the riders and the bike riders and everything, but we're completed with this part of it, and then we're going to head off. We're going to take a little break over here, show you guys this view, and then we're going to keep on hiking. Here it is, the first Colorado Trail shelter. We've been on this trail for over 250 miles. No shelters. This is one of the only shelters out here. I'm not gonna say it's the only shelter, but it's one of the only shelters. Let's take a look. See if it reminds us of the AT. Somebody's made some stools. We have some hikers. Looks like an AT shelter without a floor. But all right, there it is. We're gonna rest here and take a break. All right, just stopped for another break. We are 9 miles into the day. Nice little spring right there for us to get some more water. I'm gonna eat some. I got these yesterday, blueberry almonds. They're absolutely delicious. I'm gonna eat some snacks here, and then we're gonna try to push on. We're 9 miles into the day. Started at 8:30. It's 12:30, so that's like 9:30, 10:30, 11:30, 12:30. So only 4 hours into the day. We're actually making really good time. No big climbs yet or anything like that. The only thing that worries me is that, like, getting to that water source at 15. I don't want to stop at 15. I mean, that's only like 6 miles from here, and we'll be there, and I mean, like 3 o'clock. So I need to push on beyond that, but I don't know if I want to go all the way to the next water source at 21. So, and I have a very heavy pack. So if I do a dry camp, I'm going to be carrying a 6-day food carry along with 6 liters of water, which will be the heaviest that pack has ever been. But it's not real heavy. It's carrying really well for as much as I got in there right now. So I'm really happy with how it's carrying, especially with that amount of weight. But all right, we're gonna rest up, and then we're gonna get back on trail and see how far we get today. All right, stopped here, trailhead. There's a bathroom and everything, so that'll be nice. We're gonna have lunch here. It's crowded from the racing today, from the motorcycles, and just a lot of people on trail today. I haven't been able to film very much because there's just so much of me getting out of everybody's way, which I don't mind. But we're gonna go ahead and use this as a lunch spot. I'll show you guys my bag right now. Look at that. The food bag is so full I can't even close it, and it's just in the top of my bag. So I'm gonna get that out. I'm gonna make my tacos. We'll rest here for 30 minutes, and then we'll move on. Let's talk about these new shoes for a minute. These Nordas. Taking them off because, like, I'm breaking in new shoes. Normally, I'll break in some shoes before I go on a hike, but when you buy them on trail, you got to break them in. And starting to get a little rub right here on the back of my Achilles, but that's just because of the way that the shoe is built. There is a that's where the seams are, and my foot's feeling that. So I put a little Leuco tape just to prevent any irritations. I don't want to get any blisters or anything like that. So as soon as I started to feel it, because these shoes are brand new, the creases are a little bit crisp, and so they just need to be broke in a little bit more. I think I won't have much of an issue once they're completely broken. So I went ahead and just took that precaution right now to go ahead and tape the back of my heels just to prevent that rubbing turning into a blister or anything bad. Cushion, fantastic. Traction, fantastic. Now let's just see how long they hold up. These are supposed to be 600 to 1,000 mile shoes. The toughest shoe ever made. Dyneema upper, Vibram sole, good cushion. So we'll see how they go. All right, cut our lunch break a little short because that's coming. Thunder and lightning. First thunder and lightning I've heard since I've been on the trail. I guess we've been a little bit lucky, but we're gonna see if we can't get ahead of it. We've been moving good all day. Had some cloud cover here and there, but nothing like that. So we're going to keep pushing to see if we can't get ahead of it. Well, one thing is, it's going to get all these bikers off trail. So we'll have the trail to ourselves, but we might get rained on. We'll see. All right, we've got about 4.5 miles to get to the water source. We've already done 11 miles today. And once we get to the water source, we'll be able to camel up and then push a few more miles to camp. And then hopefully we stay dry. All right, that storm is behind us. We are currently trying to outrun the storm. I'm hoping, hear that thunder? And there's lightning back there too. I'm hoping that it's leaning a little bit. I think that's west. And we're on the outsides of it, right to the right. It would have caught us if we had been in that mountain range that we just came out of, because that's where it's at right now. But I think the winds are pushing a little bit that way. So that would be good. If we have to, we'll find a spot to pitch the tent and bunker down and wait out the storm. I thought about it. There was a bathroom back there at that trailhead, kind of just like waiting to see what happens there, because it's a little roof and you can sit underneath it. But I don't know, I wanted to keep moving if possible. So I still think it's leaning that way. I got some clear skies on this side of me, right? But then the skies on this side of me are being a little bit more threatening, and it's just now starting to sprinkle. So it might be time to don the rain gear for the first time on this trip. I need to keep my gear dry, Leo's gear dry. So we may be stopping here in a second to do that. I thought it was rain. It's actually hail. The little ice balls are starting to drop. Oh, you hear them hitting harder and harder. All right, time to stop and don some gear. All right, we are under a tree. I'm gonna get our rain gear on. But these are definitely not raindrops, these are hail. Look how much hail that is, guys. It's completely covered the path. Me and Leo got his protection on. I'm standing under the umbrella with my raincoat on, and it's still coming down. It's crazy. Good thing I know that all this gear I was carrying is not going to waste. Umbrella's doing us good, rain gear's doing us good, and the gloves with the rain shields is also doing us good. I decided to not just sit there and hunker down, but go ahead and walk so I can stay warm. I mean, ain't no need staying still. If I'm just gonna get cold, I'd have to find a tent spot and get everything set up and stay warm that way, which we can do at the end of the day if we need to. But I'm hoping this will pass. It just said afternoon storms, and it looks like the biggest part of it already passed over us, even though there's a little bit more thunder. Well, we survived our first hailstorm. Proud to say all my gear held up very, very, very well. The one piece of gear that I didn't have when I left was this Zpacks umbrella. It was given to me in Bailey by my Israeli friend, and he decided to get off trail and go home. So he asked me if I wanted it, and I was like, sure. And I used it a little bit in the hot section, but it really came in handy with hail, because that hail hurt. While I was trying to get gear on, that hail hitting you in the head was not comfortable. But we survived, and we're just gonna hike a little bit longer in our wet gear just to get it dried out. Looks like we got clear skies ahead, so that's good news. And it didn't slow us down. I mean, we didn't have to stop and like wait it out, which now I'm confident that, look, and we can handle these afternoon storms as long as there's not lightning directly over our head. Otherwise we will hunker down. But the lightning kind of pushed that direction, even though we got caught in the thick of the hail. All right, this week's verse, 2 Corinthians 12:9. But he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you. My power is made perfect in weakness, so that I will be all the more gladly to boast about my weakness, so that Christ's power may rest on me. It's a powerful verse. I don't know if most of you guys know, but a lot of you guys may know that in the past I struggled with substances, alcohol being the biggest one. And in that struggle, I've been set free through Christ. And it's through that weakness that I'm now able to help others see what it's like to be set free. So, hope that speaks to you this week. Hope that's powerful for you. Alright, we made it to the spring here at about the 15-mile mark, and here's where we need to camel up. Doesn't look like there's great camping around here anyway. There's a spot right there, but not great camping, and you're in the middle of the woods. So we're gonna go ahead and get all the water that we need, and then maybe do 2 to 4 more miles depending upon what we find as far as camp spots go. Alright, got both of my big water bottles filled up. I got my front drinking water filled up. This is what cameling looks like. This is carrying a 2-liter bladder, and I have an extra 1-liter bladder there. Couldn't get them quite full in this spring, but I think we got more than enough to, the sun was there, to get us to camp and then to a next water source tomorrow. So we're going to get this packed up and then slowly hike out of here with another, that's probably 6 to 8 pounds of water now. So, all right, let's go find us a camp. All right, we are definitely in find camp mode. But as you see, there's like dead trees like everywhere. There's a lot of flat spots in here, but I don't feel like laying in a forest of trees that are gonna possibly fall because there is a lot of down trees as well. So I'm hoping that this forest breaks up here soon. We're about 3 miles past that water source. I don't know where that puts us at for the day of mileage, but I'm hoping that this breaks up and then maybe we get a view or something and we'll be able to set up camp there. I hope we don't push it all the way to that next water source and I carried 8 pounds of water for no reason. that would suck. But anyway, it is what it is. We're gonna just keep on looking. I'm not staying in this dead trees. There's flat spots all over the place. I'm just not trusting it. All right, we made it to camp. We wound up with 19 miles today. A little bit more than I wanted to do, but everything gets us a little closer to Lake City. That's actually going to put us there in 5 days. We wind up averaging that. Today was super cruisy, though. I mean, not a whole lot of climbs, not a whole lot of elevation. We didn't even start till 8:30 and got here at 5:30 and did the 19 miles. So that tells you how super cruisy it was today. But I got camp set up. Leo's eating. Now I'm fixing to cook. And we might have a little bit of rain. I don't know, depending upon where these clouds push. But we do have a little bit of a view, which is fantastic. And I'm excited about. All right, the rain did set in. So we're stuck in the tent for now. I've already got my food cooked. It's in the vestibule. I'm just waiting to eat it here in a second. So, yeah, that's going to be it for today. We'll see you guys tomorrow.